Good morning, good morning, good morning. It is a grateful Tuesday, and I am truly grateful to be with you on this morning. My name is Crystal Flowers, and as you know, every Tuesday I come on here just to give you a little hope. I have a special guest today. Demetrk Hylton is back just to give some inspiring words. Guys, I am, just give me a second. Let me see if he's trying to connect. And we're going to get this thing rocking and rolling. Oh, there you go. Okay, here we go. All right, so I've sent him the invite. I hope you guys are having an absolutely amazing day on purpose already. There he is. Good morning, Meek. How are you?
Good morning. Good morning. How's everything?
Good. Everything is good on my end. I was having a little connection problem. That's why we are just a little bit behind, but
It's fine.
it is good to see your face this morning. I was just telling the people we're gonna have a little conversation. We're gonna have some good conversation of hope this morning. Talking about having that faith attached to that gratitude, right? So first of all, let me just introduce my special guest this morning. This is Demetrk Hylton. He is, if you've never been on the platform before, he is a podcaster. And I tend to call him a millennial conversation because he has so much wisdom inside of that head, right? He carries so much wisdom inside of him. But he also carries something, guys, that is absolutely amazing to me, is humility. And that is something that I love and honor and I respect, right? Because sometimes when you get to a place that humility is taken out and that ego get in there and it
Yeah,
gets a little convoluted, right? But
exactly.
this young man right here is just walking in his purpose, walking in his assignment. And I am simply proud of him. That is my godson, my nephew. And I love it, right? I love it. He has a podcast called Tech Time with Meek, where he goes live. He streams, he does not goes live, but he streams, I think it's every other Friday.
Yeah, every other Friday. Every other Friday.
Every other Friday, he streams on his podcast, and he's dropping bricks, not nuggets. He's dropping bricks. So if
Thank you.
if you want to join into some good conversation and get some good conversation had, you want to listen in on his podcast. It's called Tech Time with Meek. He'll tell you where you can go to link up with. But this morning, Meek, you got anything you want to say before we get started?
Nah, you gave me a great introduction, so everything's good. I don't got nothing to say. You did a good job.
Okay, okay. So I wanted to talk about faith this morning, and you
Mm,
can add anything in there you want, talking about having faith. And I know we've talked about this prior to on this platform before, but I think faith is a big part of gratitude, right? It opens the door to so many things. It opens the door up to your belief, really. When you're walking out that faith, and that belief attaches itself to, they all attach themselves in some sort of way, right? That faith, that belief, that hope, that gratitude, that joy, the happiness, they all get in alignment. But faith is the onset. And, a lot of times people say, well, you know what? I don't have faith because this happened before or that happened before. And they never think about what didn't happen, right?
mhm.
Because a lot of times what didn't happen is actually the biggest thing out of everything, because something could have went a total different way. So you have to have faith in that process and know that, you know what? I have faith in it because I know that this did not happen and it could have went a whole different other way, right?
Yes.
That propels you into that gratitude because you can look back and you can reflect and remember how God brought you out of that thing, right? I'm a person of faith, so this is my platform, and I'm
Yes.
just going to tell you, I'm not
I
doing the
love it.
universe
I
thing,
love
right?
it.
I'm doing the God thing,
I love it. I
right?
love, yeah. We're not talking about the universe because if you're careful about what you read, God created the universe. The universe is His, so we're not going to give thanks to the universe. I don't get that either. So I agree with you 110%.
Right. So, so God is, He actually um, aligns those things. When you align that thing and you can remember back and just reflect back to when God brought you out of that situation. That is where that gratitude, but just having faith and knowing that if he did it before, he
He
will
could
do
do
it
it again.
again, right?
Exactly.
Do it again over and over and over and over and over and over again. And things get, that storm seem like it ain't gonna never go away, right? When you in that storm, it seemed like you be like, Lord, if you just, and he like, nah, we gonna, because there's something to learn inside of that journey also,
There's
right? And it
something
may
that
just be that, hmm,
sorry, no, sorry. I wanted to tag on to what you were saying about the storm.
okay,
It's funny you mentioned the storm because this past Sunday, my pastor preached about how God guided you through your storm, and a lot of times, when people are in the storm of life, you know what I'm saying, like the search for answers and things are not going their way, even their careers they're not happy with, they tend to start to honestly want to give up on themselves, want to give up on their faith, and they don't
right,
understand that that's the real testing of their faith, because whatever you're praying and asking God for to remove you from or to elevate you to, he has to put you into a test to see if you can handle where you're at
hmm,
right now. So sometimes the test is, you know what I'm saying, can we store what he gives us right now? You know what I'm saying?
right, right,
Can we go to work and ask our managers or our supervisors, what's the biggest challenge right now? How can I help you? See, a lot of times when people wait, they feel like they're waiting and being like, they're being punished for waiting. Instead of a waiter, when you're out to eat, they say, "How can I help you?" Like they're waiting. So I feel like people should change the mindset of waiting to really like serving, because that's what God wants from us, is to be a
yes,
servant. You know?
yes. Yes, absolutely. And you know what? Serving is another aspect of gratitude because you know what? When you are grateful, you don't mind serving, right? It's something that just comes natural, right?
Yes,
How can I
yes,
help you? What do you need to be done? It's just, because it's not, you don't get into a place of competition, you don't get into a place of jealousy, you don't get into a place of envy when you're walking in gratitude, because you already know what's mine is mine and what's yours is yours, right? I often give this analogy where a lot of times people, and I know I'm going off task, but that's how my
nah,
mind
it's
goes.
all right, it's all right. Talk about it, talk about it,
But
talk about it.
it's a lot of times, I give this analogy all the time. You're dreaming about the 5 bedroom house, right? And somebody else get a 4 bedroom house, and then you be like, well, God, what happened to me? Well, God's saying, you didn't ask me for no 4 bedroom house, you asked me for the 5 bedroom house. What are you talking about? So
That's
you
so
have
true.
to you have to always, when you're walking out that spirit of gratitude, you even get excited when that person gets that 4 bedroom house. You be like, yes, because you are up next, right?
Yes,
And you're grateful for what has happened to them, because you be like, you know what? He did it for her. I'm up next. You
that's right.
excited. You happy. You're not in a competitive spirit, jealousy, envy, or any of that, because you know what he did for someone else. It is truly, it will happen for you,
Yes,
right?
and that's something that people we have to be careful of, because social media is so powerful and impacting. When we see somebody's success in any type of form, we start to compare each other's callings, and you can't compare somebody's calling, because whatever God's called you to do, whatever it is for your family, for your friends, they're waiting on you to get to that realization so you can do it. Sometimes, not sometimes, all
Mhm.
the time. Sometimes, all the time, our obedience is attached to somebody's destiny. So if we're not
Right.
obedient, somebody else can't see the full potential that they have. So sometimes, like, you can't compare your level 1 to somebody's level 10, because you don't know how really what they really went
How they
through.
got there.
Exactly. You don't know the
Yeah.
impact. You
You
don't know the
you
impact.
don't Yeah, you don't know that chapter 7, 8, 9 on how they got to 10, right?
Exactly.
You don't know what
Exactly.
they have to suffer through. You just see that end result and that journey, but you don't see that end of the journey, but you don't see that middle part where they was probably crying at night, praying at night, believing God.
Exactly.
And you don't even know what was happening in that middle part, but you just be like, oh man, look at them. They're successful. They're doing this, they're doing that, and not realizing that what they went through to get there, how their test was, right? You said something really powerful too. You said your obedience is attached to somebody else's destiny. And
Yes.
that is very, very powerful. That was very, very powerful because a lot of things we won't do things and we put things off because of we feel like we have insecurities or we don't have
Talk
enough.
about
We
it.
can't do this. We can't do that. Right. Even with this platform, a lot of times and I'm gonna be very transparent. I was like, God, I don't even know where this is going. What am I doing with this? Wanting to, like I said, at the end of 2020, like, maybe it's time to shut it down, and not even realizing the impact that it was having on other people. And it was just out of my obedience that I was being able to do what God had assigned me to do. And I didn't know, at the time. But just being very transparent, like being saying, I don't understand, or I'm I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a doctorate. I don't have a PhD behind my name, and I don't even know, God, if I'm being effective. Right?
Mm.
Those insecurities tap in. Who wants to hear from me?
That's the beautiful thing about God. He didn't ask for our resumes. He didn't ask for our degrees. He's asked for our yes. And that's the thing we get so caught up on because he brings us into places. Remember, Proverbs says your gift will make room for you and bring you in front of great men. Your gift.
Yes.
It didn't say your degree. It didn't say your career. He said your gift. So the gifts that you have inside
Yes.
you, they'll make room for you. Make room meaning it makes space for you. It's gonna you're gonna be there and bring you in front of great men. Great men
Right.
meaning whatever you want to do, career, whatever rooms you want to get into. That's the thing. You had the faith. Going back to faith, right? People don't
Mm-hmm.
understand the social media, the social media breakdown. We look at people with 10,000 followers, or even people with, um, you know, 1,000 followers, and we're like, wow,
Mm-hmm.
that's a lot of followers, right? Now let's break it down. I got 628 followers, right? Before that, like maybe like 2 years ago, I had like 100 followers. People don't understand if you really start to think about people following you, right? We're talking about 100 followers, and if you go on live and you get like 20 to 30 viewers, you have to think about a college classroom. That's like 30 people in your
Mm-hmm.
classroom listening to you right now. Even if you get 10, be grateful for that because the less, to honest with you, less is more. The less people you have, you can really tap in more. When you think about all these viewers and these listeners, don't get me wrong, you're gonna get there when you get to like 1,000 viewers. But have faith in the small things first because the 15 people when I was in college, I didn't even have 15 people in my classroom. 15 people is the
Right.
lecture. 15 people is the lecture room. You know what I'm saying? That's when a professor
Mm-hmm.
talk for hours and 2 hours about an assignment. But this is your assignment that you on. So whether it's one person, two, whether it's 10,
Yes.
you have to be committed to be consistent towards the calling. You know what I'm saying? And
Amen.
that's what people don't understand. Even that's for myself, I have to realize that it doesn't matter about who is approving me. And it's funny because I said I had my morning prayer and I said this to them. I was like, I want to keep praying that God, every rejection I get leads me to my yes. And I'm grateful for rejection
Mm.
because rejection leads to redirection. You know what I'm saying? So
Yes,
I'm
yes, yes.
that and that just begins to activate my faith more and more.
Right, 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 right. And that is so true. Like even in business, right? As an entrepreneur, that's one of the things that they tell us. You want to get as many no's as you can till you get to that yes, right?
Yes.
And so that is so true. Even in your personal life, and that you want to be able to get that rejection. And what that rejection does is it grows you up. It
Mm,
grows you up personally, spiritually, business wise. It starts to grow you up because you start to look and say, you know what? That rejection. Okay, what could I have done better? What can I done differently? How could I have said that differently? So it kind of grows you up too, right? I always take everything as a learning experience in life, because I was like, I feel like everything God puts before me is either for me to learn. I'm supposed to learn, right? I never fail. That I just put that in my head. I never fail. I learn and I
absolutely.
grow whatever, some people be like, oh, that's a failure. It's not a failure. It was an opportunity for me to be able to learn how to do it differently, how to do it better, or how to just do it, right?
It's true.
How to just grow some skills,
It's true.
So you have to look at things from that perspective. And I love that your rejection leads you to redirection. Demetrk, I'm always taking notes, right? I'm always taking notes. Your rejections lead to your redirection. And that's what it
Right.
does. It redirects you in a different path because you be like, okay, I did it that way. Now let me do it this way. It
Yes.
gives you another way of doing things, another way of seeing things, and sometimes opening up your mindset, right? It opens
Yeah.
up your mindset.
That's the thing, with rejection leads to your redirection. You start to really think about what ways you want to do it towards. I've always tried to do things my way, but once became willing and open to a God, like whatever He wants from me, my redirection was His ways, and then my desires. Now I'm praying that my desires are His desires for me. So now
Hmm.
I'm not comparing anybody's calling towards mine. I'm just looking at myself, because at the end of the day,
Right,
there's individuals that has to be blessed, but that's if I'm obedient. That's if I keep
right,
pushing. You
right,
know what I'm saying? So
right.
like even when you started, this platform, and you said that you wasn't sure if you were, that who wants to listen to you. You don't know who needs a word of faith or a word of being grateful. You don't know who needs these words, because like you said, people are confused right now. You know what I'm saying? They wake up in the
Hmm.
morning and they feel like their routine is the same thing over and over again. They go to bed doing the
Yes.
same thing over and over again. But there's something always to be grateful for. And this morning you wake up and it's freezing outside. At least you're not outside as anybody that's homeless, and they have to live
Right,
in this cold.
right,
So
right.
you have a chance to be better than you were. You have a chance to really, really like get exposed. God can expose you to something that you never seen before. Whatever you ask for in prayer, in private, He will reward you. He'll reward you in the open. But
Open. Yes.
as you said before, that comes with faith. Like you said, people don't understand. Like, faith is so strong, and it's not, like you said, it's not the universe. It's not whatever. It's
Right,
not. It's not whatever the other people believe. That's a conversation for another day. But but
right.
it comes from, what I'm saying, really seeking and believing that God will do it for you. When you believe in Him, you believe in yourself, because greater is He that's in me than he that's in the world. So when you start
Yes,
speaking those things as so they are, as not as so they are, you start to see how He starts to move and shift for you. And
yes.
that's the thing. Even with people right now that's in careers that they don't want to, or they're trying to be an entrepreneur. Okay, a lot of entrepreneurs quit their job. They quit the 9 to 5, and they were successful. That might not be not you, but I'm saying that might not be somebody
Yeah,
else's,
yeah, yeah.
that might not be somebody else's path. A lot of people try to compare their path to somebody else, and that's when God can't bless
Yes,
them in the way that they're supposed to be blessed. You know what I'm saying? So I really
right.
agree with you. I agree with you on that one.
Yeah, yeah, and you know what? Like you said, what are you speaking inside of your head too? And I have an example of that. I was listening to. I do a lot of personal development, and I was listening to this speaker. Her name is Lisa Nichols, and she was saying that like when she was 15. I apologize, God. Guys, they're doing yard work outside my house.
It's springtime. They gotta get the grass right. They gotta get the grass
Yeah,
right.
so that mower, he out there mowing. I'm like, oh God, you would come at this time, but so there, a lot of times she was saying that when she was 15, she was swimming and she would lose every meet. She would lose every meet. And so she went to her grandmother and she said she was going to quit. And her grandmother said to her, winners never quit and quitters never win. Right.
Right.
And so when she gave her that, she said the next meet she got ready to do, she was 15, she missed her meet and they said, we're going to put you in there with the 17 and 18. She said, no, no, no. You know what? I lose all the time. Anyway, don't put me in there with the Sharks because, she going against people that are older. She gets in there, and what she started to say in her head was winners never quit and quitters never win. When she got to the end of her swimming, she hit the wall, she looked to her left and her right, and there was nobody there. And so she was thinking, God, I'm so slow. They all got out the pool. What had happened was she changed what she was saying inside of her head when she was
Mm.
swimming, and it changed her results. So her coach asked her, what were you saying before? And she was saying, I don't want to lose. I don't want to lose. I don't want to lose. She
Oh,
replaced that with winners never quit and quitters never win. And she went out there and broke a record based off of the conversation that she changed that she was having with herself inside of her head. And so when you said that, it made me think about that. Is that
that's
conversation
good.
that you having with yourself is what you are getting the results of. If you believe that you are a loser, you will lose.
No doubt about it.
If you believe that you will win no matter what the storm is right now, you will get out of that situation. It's the conversation that you are having with yourself that is going to elevate you to where you need to go.
That's
Right?
so good. I want to piggyback off that as well. I remember, I remember very, very clearly, like when I was in high school and we were getting ready to graduate from high school, getting ready for college, and we was in the classroom and we was making jokes about something, but my professor said a joke, but you have to be careful about jokes because sometimes certain jokes are like really, really towards your
They'll
life.
manifest.
Exactly. So he said to me, he said, you should enjoy this graduation because this is the last graduation you're gonna attend. Like he was saying, like I was never gonna get a college degree, and
Hmm.
I didn't realize how the impact it had on me as I got older. But it took me so long to graduate from my college I was at because I
Hmm.
like you said, I allowed what was poured into me to really, really, what I'm saying, have a hold on me. So it's true, like whoever's listening, you have to really watch what you're saying to yourself and what somebody's saying to you because it could really
Yes.
it could really tear down your dreams. And see, if your dream is in a seed form, if somebody talks about it and try to destroy it, they can destroy it early. That's why in the Bible, when they heard that Jesus was born, they said kill all the babies first because it's easy to kill a
Yeah.
king as a baby. So
Right.
you have to you
Right.
have to you
Right.
have to be careful of your dream when it's in that seed form because God is letting you grow in the nutrient. If you let anybody come around it, it will be destroyed. So you have to think about that in your
Yes.
perspective and what you tell yourself. And I know that it sounds like on days, you can't encourage yourself, but those are the days you gotta push harder because at the end of the day,
Yes.
it's all about your faith over your feeling. You may not feel like waking up in the morning and coming on here and giving us the live, but you have the
Right.
faith. You have the faith that God's going to use you in the way that somebody's going to be blessed, and that's the difference. It's not about how you feel because God doesn't move
Right.
off. He doesn't move off feelings. He moves off faith,
Yes.
and I had to learn that
Yes.
within myself.
Yes, yes, absolutely. That faith, I'm telling you guys, faith is so important because you got to move even when you can't see it. Like he said, not off your feelings, but off of your faith. I know
That's
that
right.
this is not going to be my forever. Right.
That's right.
And like he said, he had those people that was dumping toxicity inside of him. Right. You got to be careful of those people that you put around you. And it's not like you going around saying, oh God, no, get away from me, anything like that. But you have to, when they say something, you have to repeat back to themselves. Like, they say, oh, yeah, I can't even think of nothing right now, but they might say something negative,
Yes.
and you ain't got to say nope, not for me. You say to yourself, "Nah, I don't receive that." You
That's
got to
right.
denounce that thing immediately,
That's right.
immediately.
That's right.
You can't even let it give birth inside of you. Like he said, they try to kill the babies because they know if they get that thing to birth inside of you, it, like with the nutrients, it will start to grow. So
Amen.
you got to make sure you shut it down quickly. I think they say like you have like is it 60,000 thoughts a day or something like that? You have like 60,000 thoughts a day. They can be good or bad. And when they come, that's why there's a scripture that says you have to pull down those things. You have to pull them down. You have to pull down
Amen.
those thoughts that so easily, get into you. You got to shut them down quick. When the devil sends you something, you got to crush that thing quickly. So you are able to walk out and walk out. You got to give it a faith message. You got to
I
give it back to yourself. Like he
I
said,
agree.
when you can't see it, you can't even fathom it. You don't know where it's coming from, but you got to know that you know that you know that you know that you know this is not my forever.
And I agree, and I want to piggy off that as well. Like you said, you gotta know, and when you know, you have to walk in that confidence. The thing is that as millennials, as me, and even generation before me, your generation, we're under attack when it comes to social media. And
Yeah.
even though don't get me wrong, social media is an amazing, amazing, powerful, impactful thing if you use it the right way. But we don't know how to, turn it off sometimes. And I don't mean turn it off by just like, closing out the app. We gotta learn how to really turn it off with stop comparing ourselves to other people and stop wishing for we don't know what's going on behind the scenes. We see people, living these type of lives, and we
Hmm.
want it. And the thing is, the things that we want sometimes are not what we need. And so we have to stop really, being like allowing social media to like rule us. You know what I'm saying? Because
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
feel like social media is made supposed to impact and uplift people, but it tears people down. So
Yeah.
I agree with you 110% that you have to watch what comes inside you. And even before, like I'm trying to learn before I even get on my social media to open up my Bible, read my Bible, and just like cleanse my mind, because it's a quick and easy way for the enemy to
Yeah.
attack us. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
So definitely when it comes to social media, and like you said about faith, you gotta like go on here and look at things, but you gotta know who you are and know what you're called to do. And if you don't know, what I'm saying, you have to like what I'm saying, discover that. Because as I tell my friends all the time, I don't want to live life just being able to do a job. I want to be fulfilled. I want to live life towards my calling, whatever that is. I want to be fulfilled in whatever I'm doing. I want to be able to touch and inspire
Right.
lives purely. I don't want to,
Right. Right.
I don't want to be, I don't want to get, what's the word? I don't want to settle because my faith was low and I was weak. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to
Right.
settle for
Right.
anything. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right, right. Absolutely. I totally agree. I'm telling you, this is social media, like you said, it has been doing some good, but it's also does some bad. And I
Yeah.
know maybe some months back, for a couple of days, I just got off of social media
Okay.
for like maybe 3 or 4 days. And when I detached myself, it felt like I was thinking clearer. My mind was clearer. You sometimes you got to just detach yourself from this thing because it can become addictive. That scroll,
Yeah.
you know, that scroll, I had to get myself back to just giving myself a couple of hours of a day because I am an entrepreneur and I do a lot of my business on social media. I had to get my business time, utilize it
Yeah.
wisely, and stop that scrolling. Because you can get into that mindless scrolling and you just scrolling, scrolling, scrolling. And before you know it, you done wasted like 2 or 3 hours of your day. And you're like, what?
Yeah.
Just doing mindless scrolling and getting this empty stuff that has no meaning for your life. It has no purpose. It's just you be like, oh, okay, that's cute, and you scroll to the next one, and then you scroll to
Yeah.
the next one, and then sometimes you just gotta tap out and say, like, coach, take me out. You gotta
Yeah.
you gotta be your own coach and take yourself out of the game because you will find yourself doing mindless stuff that does not have anything to do with your purpose or the direction that you're supposed to be going in your life, and you've wasted time on something that was meaningless.
And
So
that's another thing too. I wanted to definitely shout you out about, like you said, you're an entrepreneur and you've been doing this, whether it's you're on live, whether you're posting, you're consistent. And the thing is, what you're doing is trying to, improve and impact lives by allowing them to see, the positive side, the real positive side of,
mhm.
This Grateful Tuesday thing, I think is amazing.
Thank you.
It's not only about being grateful, but I truly believe that people just they start sometime, especially in these days now, because pandemic has taken a lot from people. They think about the
Mhm.
things that they think about the things that they don't have. And
Right.
even though, what I'm saying, you don't have something, you still have a lot, because that's still something for God to use and work in you. I believe that even though somebody's maybe going through a tough time right now, like when God says it on their calling, on their purpose, that's what it is. It's up to us to get in alignment, so we know, what I'm saying, what we're supposed to
Mm-hmm.
be doing. But along the way, if you're not really like being intentional about your moves and intentional about what you want from your life, you're not really going to make any. You're going to be stagnant, and then you're going to be confused. And then when you go and pray and you ask God, what, why is not nothing moving? He showed you that you haven't learned from this baby step at you at. So before I
Right.
can elevate you to step 2, you have to learn how to really store step 3. Because
Yes.
as I elevate you towards more and more and more, you gotta learn how to treat people. You gotta learn how to honestly not get upset. You gotta learn how to honestly deal with, people's problems. You don't know. The thing is, everybody's looking for a leader around their circle when they're the leader themselves.
Yes.
And that's the thing. People are scared to step up to leadership. That's what social media is. You are your leader. Your page, you're the leader of who you
Mm-hmm.
are. You're representing something. So if
Right. Right.
somebody go to your page, they should go to your page and see somebody that's of value. And when you come to
Positivity.
them, you have to ask, how can you add
Hmm.
value? And that's something you do. And I appreciate that, because
Thank you so
you add
much.
value to us. You add value to us when it comes
Thank you,
to,
me. I
your
appreciate
energy.
that. Thank you, thank you,
Mm,
thank you. Yeah, and that's what I want. I want people to walk away with hope. And I know it's not about me. It's a God thing, right? Being
yeah.
able to give somebody some light at the end of the day, because with all of this negative on social media, you want to be able to see, God, there is another side to this, right? There is another side to this. You can have hope in this time. And during the pandemic, people coming out of the pandemic, people are coming out and they're feeling hopeless. They've lost a lot of people have lost loved ones and different things like that. They've lost loved ones, they've lost their finances, they've lost their homes, they lost a lot, but there is still hope. There is still
Hmm.
hope. There's still something that you have that you can be grateful for on today. I don't care where you are in your situation, you can be grateful. There's
Hmm.
something so, and you look at it as a small thing. That ain't
Hmm.
nothing. This ain't
Yeah.
what I want, right? But that small thing, one day, I put a quote up there because I saw a quote today. That small thing one day will become a big thing. You will look back and say, you know what, that was a big thing. It was a thing that helped me get through to where I am today. So just
Yes.
keep your faith alive on today, guys. Make sure that you have that you tap inside of that faith. No matter what it looks like, you are going to be okay. You will be
No.
okay. Yeah.
And trust me as well, like, you're gonna be okay. And it will be challenging, because it's gonna be times where, I'm speaking from like experience, you start to again doubt yourself. It's gonna be times where you're gonna be alone. And the thing is you're not lonely. It's because
Woo!
God has to isolate you
Mm-hmm.
to build you. So whatever it is that you may be going through right now, it's a building process. And in that building
Yeah.
process,
Yeah.
there's weight he has to put on you, so he can build the foundation. So
Yes.
when you think about a house, they have to build the foundation. They have to set the foundation, then they build it. So you may be in a season right now where the foundation is being set, but when he starts building it, you that's when he'll blow your mind. Trust me.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm a testament to it. So when we talk about Grateful Tuesdays, it's really, like he said, it's about being humble where you're at right now, and
Mm-hmm.
storing over what you have right now. If you work at a job where you're not happy with, you give the best customer service that you have right now. Or if you're working in
Right.
an office job, be the best employee that you can be right now. It's not about
Yeah.
the boss. It's not about people who don't like you. That's another thing too. We have to take out, like I said, sometimes you have to throw yourself out of the equation. It's not about who
Mm-hmm.
don't like you. It's about who disrespecting you. It's about, can you handle where you're at right now before you get to your next level. A lot of times
Right.
people be wishing for like they be wishing for blessings without the work. And that's another thing about faith. Faith without works is dead.
Faith, action.
If you don't put in no work, there won't be no result. There's no
Yeah.
you the
Yeah.
universe is not going to give it to you. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
you have
Right.
you have to you have to really realize that, what I'm saying, if you don't really put in work, there will be no results. And sometimes the work will be hard, it'll be annoying. When you wake up, you're not going to want to do it, but the time when you have to activate your faith, who you really are.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Who you really want to be. You have to ask yourself
Right.
that. We
Yeah.
can't answer that for you. You have to ask yourself that, though.
Yeah, because faith without works is dead. You have to put in the work. That's just pure point blank. A lot of times people pray and wait. No, pray, wait, and do some action. You got to do some work, right? You got to do some
Amen.
work. There's got to be
Amen.
some work to it. There's got to be. God wants to see you make a move. You praying and asking God for a job, but you're not putting in no applications. Right? You gotta make sure people ain't gonna just come knock on your door. You gotta put some work to it. Right?
Amen.
You got to put some work to it. You want a house, but you ain't spoke to a realtor. There got to be some work going on. It's got to match up. It can't just be sitting and waiting and praying and believing. Yeah, you got to do some work. Faith without works is dead. That's the
That's true.
word.
That's true.
Yeah.
It really is, and that's where I'm at in the season of my life right now. It's like everything I realize I'm doing, I gotta put in work. But when you put
Mm-hmm.
in, when you get into that mindset of putting in that work, you start to be hungry for what God has for you. You start to be hungry for what you're
Mm-hmm.
really called to do. You start to really be hungry for honestly just being fulfilled. I'm not even. I don't. It's not about success for me no more. It's about fulfillment. It's about knowing I'm doing my assignment that I'm supposed to
Yes.
do. And sometime with my assignment, like I said, it might be in isolation. I might have to, I might can't be around my friends.
Yes.
I might can't be on social media because there's a time and place for everything. And whatever is good is going to take time.
Mm-hmm.
And remember though, the evil of good, the evil of what's right is what's good. Because every time people want to do just what's good for them, but not the right thing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
Right.
when you really start to really understand the difference between what's good and what's right, you'll really understand that, you know what I'm saying, whatever that you're going
Mm-hmm.
through is to really build you. And nothing that you deal with right now is a waste. Whatever it is you're
Right.
going through so far,
Nothing.
it's not a waste. But when you start
Mm-hmm.
tap all the lesson in to your experiences, trust
Yeah.
me, you'll start to move in ways. You'll be like, this is me. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
And you'll only have to give God like that glory because it's only Him. Again,
Yeah.
not the universe, but it's only Him. You
Yeah,
know.
absolutely. Absolutely. So guys, we have been, I don't even know how long we've been talking, but
Nah,
guys,
yeah, we've been
we
rapping.
hope that
We've been rapping. You've been dropping them. You've been dropping them on me. You've been dropping them.
feeding off of you, feeding off of you. This has been some really good conversation. We hope that we have inspired you. Mick, you want to say anything before I close out?
Same thing. We hope that we inspired you. We're in March right now, going into April. It's going to make I think the third quarter of the year, and whatever it is that you put on your vision board, if it's not done yet, honestly, don't be upset about it because everybody did a vision board, but your first vision board should be your faith. You have to see it.
Yes.
You have to see it. It says write it down and make it plain. So once you
Yeah.
see it, if you didn't see it, you're not going to see it on the vision board. So first you have to see it here and write it down,
Hmm.
make it plain, and then ask God for the answers. But we really hope that this impacted, encouraged anybody that was on.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. And that is the desire. March into April, right? My pastor talked about this Sunday. Whatever you did in March is going to be, it's going to be a result of what's going to happen in April. So you want to go ahead and march into April. So you got two
I
more
like that.
days to go ahead and get something going, get something aligned so you can go straight into April and see those results. But I like, again, piggying back off of him. We hope that this is something has impacted you on today. Me, I want to thank you again for being able to come on this platform. I appreciate you so much. I always love your wisdom and the value
Thank
that
you.
you bring to the conversation. Right? You guys
Thank
gonna see
you.
him again because I'm gonna keep him in rotation because I love
Yeah,
this dude.
nah, we always at it. It's always love, and I thank you for this opportunity
Yeah.
to just shed light, and I thank you for trusting me with being on this platform to shed light. It's truly an honor.
Yes, thank you. So, guys, as I close out every Grateful Tuesday, you welcome. As I close out this Grateful Tuesday, I just want to encourage you to go out there and think about two things on today that you are truly grateful for. Whether it's you got light, water, you got a job to go to, whatever it is. Think on two of those things all day today, and I promise you, your life will get that much better. Don't even think on them just on today, right? Because Grateful Tuesday is the day that I bring the platform. But you want to have a spirit of gratitude every day.
That's
Every
it.
day, every day, every day you want to walk in gratitude. So whatever it is you have, be grateful for it on today. And I promise you, your life will be that much better. Have an absolutely amazing day on purpose, guys. Have a great day, Meek. Love you.
Love you.
Toodles.
See you later.
All righty.